Our region has staged a remarkable economic comeback over the past 30 years or so. In recent years, our unemployment rate has outperformed the national average, and total employment has been hitting near record highs. But there's an issue. We're also one of the oldest regions in the country, and too many working-age people don't have the skills they need to fill the jobs that are opening up around here. Improvements to education emerged as a big part of the Power of 32 vision, and the Education Committee has identified two key priorities going forward: matching education programs to jobs and creating a regional STEAM network. Now, we're not talking about going back to the days of the steam engine. The idea is to encourage best practices in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, STEAM. DeIulius served on the Education Committee of the Power of 32, and he's president of CONSOL Energy. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, so well, let's talk a little bit about workforce issues. I know it's near and dear to your heart in both the coal and natural gas industries at CONSOL. What's sort of at stake for our region in this space?
Huge opportunity is at stake if we get it right. When you look at CONSOL Energy as one specific illustration of what's going on with the energy industry overall in this region, you see really two things driving the employment and education for employment issues. One is demographics. Our demographics are very illustrative of what the rest of the region and energy industry are facing. A lot of our individual employees are 55 years or older, so there's going to be this shift or a generational change as they retire, which need to be replaced with new trained workers to fill the gap. The other side of it, and the other major driver, is growth, just flat out growth. The best examples of that, of course, are the Marcellus Shale opportunity that this region has enjoyed and continues to enjoy, as well as the Utica Shale in nearby eastern Ohio, but also we think that Utica Shale opportunity is going to cross the border at some point soon into Pennsylvania. You also see a lot of growth on the coal side as well, with new coal mining complexes in southwest PA, northern West Virginia that are on the drawing board. So demographics really coupled with growth, that's a powerful combination that result in high numbers for future employment.
But even if, whether you're talking about energy, manufacturing, healthcare, or whatever, even if we didn't create a single new job, it sounds like because of our demographics, you're still going to need people in your kind of industries.
We finally saw that demographic situation with southwest PA go from a challenge into an opportunity, because they are retiring in large numbers, and we're going to have that need for worker training, worker education, even if there was no growth in the energy space, which of course is not the case today.
And true in the Pittsburgh metro, but in this broader 32 county region includes, hard to believe we could be having a tightening workforce situation in some of the counties in West Virginia and Greene County and Pennsylvania. They've struggled so much for so many years, and now we're actually seeing a pinch point in terms of workforce issues.
It's hard to imagine what we're faced with, and it's not a developing story. That tight market exists right now today. Pittsburgh, when you look at it, I know technically we're in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but really we're the capital of Appalachia, and what we're going through from a job opportunity and job tightening situation is the same as what this region and those 32 counties are going through at large. CONSOL alone in the last 6 years running has hired over 1,000 employees per year because of that demographic situation I've described and because of the growth in the coal and natural gas industries. This year alone, I think we're on pace to hire approximately 1,400 individuals.
1,400?
1,400. Wow. And you look at that, it's just an amazing situation. You look at the compensation packages in these industries of fossil fuel, whether it's natural gas or coal or power generation, for someone without any experience coming into the workforce, and we're talking about hourly workers, even for the coal mining and natural gas fields. Total packages, when you include benefits, whether it's 401ks, healthcare, etc., are 6 figures. Someone with as little as 3 years of experience once in those industries of natural gas and coal, those total compensation packages jump to around $125,000 per year. So these just aren't jobs. These are what I would call family-sustaining jobs and region-sustaining jobs for all 32 counties.
Wow, and the kind of jobs a lot of folks around here think probably went away 30 years ago, but they're still here and they're growing. And looking at the Power of 32 and these two sort of the goals that have been established, it sounds like one is really related to the folks who are ready to work right now. This STEAM thing seems to be more targeted, at kids and young people? It's more education-oriented?
The STEAM side of this is the most exciting for me personally, because that's the one that really is an investment that has its return not just for this year or next year, but for generations to come. And it's basically, as you summarized, it's a process and a pipeline, no pun intended, that looks at developing skill sets and understanding a knowledge base for students at very young ages up through their high school and beyond years. If we're successful at that program of development, then we know we will have a bench of employees to fill these jobs for not just the next year, as I said, but for years and decades to come.
So in those categories, science, technology, it's not just everybody's going to be a PhD scientist or a nuclear engineer. Within that realm, there's jobs at all skill levels, potentially.
There's jobs at all skill levels. And really, when you look and do the assessment, which we've done, one of the biggest holes or bottlenecks that we saw was not on the four-year college side of things or graduate school side of things, and not on necessarily the intermediate grade school side of things. It was at high school and associate degree, community college type level. That's where most of the demand currently exists. That's where a big part of the job demand in the future will exist. And right now we're working closely with various stakeholders and entities in that sort of educational horizon of that spectrum I described to make sure that they're in a position to succeed, so we will be in a position to succeed.
Well, it's really going to affect the power of our region to compete over the next 20 or 30 years.
Exciting times.
Yeah, well, all right. Appreciate the update on the education program and initiatives of Power of 32. Nick DeIulius from CONSOL Energy. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah. And we'll be back in a minute with a little dollars and cents. Stay with us.